WoW players are destroying Midnight's Maths. That's right. The numbers are broken. I talked about Guardian Druids and how they're absolutely breaking everything. We saw a 30-man Guardian Druid raid not too long ago. Lots of shit happening. It also looks like Bell's going to talk about how repairs have been fixing the game, evidently. So a lot of news to get into here. I've covered a lot of this already on my own, but you know, your boy's got to drop a react. So let's get into this one here, how WoW players are destroying all of Midnight's Maths here from Bellular.
WoW's a strange game, and this is going to be a strange edition of the WoW news. Sometimes the game updates a bit too fast, sometimes things go a bit wrong, sometimes it doesn't get updated quickly enough, chaos starts to bubble up, and all we can do is wait for something to change. And at other times, there are problems going back 10 or 15 years that we really need to address soon. I've got stories of every one of those kinds today. We'll start with 5 Chinese bears walking into a dungeon, and then, well...
Chinese?
We've compared the difference in cost between wiping in World of Warcraft and wiping in real life.
What? 5 bears walk... Did they 5-bear a dungeon too? The 30-man raid of bears was insane enough. If you didn't know, 30 bears took out Voidspire Heroic. Now they're doing a Mythic Plus too?
So here's where our story begins. Back at the start of May, Guardian Druids were nerfed. Now, they'd picked up a reputation for crazy single target burst at the cost of struggling to hold threat in AoE. So Blizzard had a simple enough solution. They nerfed the single target buttons, and in exchange, all of their main sources of AoE got fairly heavy buffs. For one example, we can take Thrash. Its direct damage was triple.
I mean, this is the only thing they had to buff. This is like 90% of their rotation. They just thrash everything. Moonfire Beam and Thrash, right? That's it. That's basically their 2-button rotation.
And the bleed from it was doubled. Except, when Blizzard did that, they kind of forgot how Guardian Druid actually works. But who didn't forget is this group of Chinese players. And that's because using Thrash's buffs, they pulled off a Mythic Plus score heist, where 5 Guardian Druids timed a +20 Windrunner Spire.
A +20?
It wasn't by a lot, mind you. They had about a minute to spare, but they did it all the same.
Jeez.
Now, naturally, you'd expect they'd have some crazy unintended build, niche items, or were just playing completely out of their minds good. Well, we have the logs, so we can see exactly how they played the game.
Oh, God.
As you can see,
What the hell, man? What kind of rotation is this? I swear, as a Blood DK, I gotta freaking react to everything. Split second. I gotta push 10 different buttons. These guys just 59%, 60% of their rotation is just smashing the Thrash button. What the hell? I gotta switch specs. That's peak strategy. I gotta respec. Yeah, I mean, I gotta class myself at this point. Between Moonfire and Thrash, that's 80% of their buttons. 80%, because Moonfire is 20 and Thrash is 60. 80% of their rotation is 2 buttons. That's insane.
Pressed Thrash? Sometimes they pressed other buttons, but mostly
sometimes, yeah,
they were pressing Thrash. I mean, seriously, every log just is tons of Thrash, the odd Moonfire, and a few or no casts of their other abilities like Mangle, Raise, or Swipe.
You spam Death Strike, Sam GG.
They still had to keep high uptime for all their defensives, interrupt, and CC like crazy, and even doing that, they still had a few deaths. They definitely did earn their clear, they did well. But we haven't got to the main reason why, because the key thing that let it happen was Blizzard being a little bit silly. Thrash has a few interactions in a certain hero talent tree, you see. Like this one, that buffs it even further and turns it into arcane damage. Now that lets it ignore armor and benefit from all of these arcane empowering talents. So if you stack up those percentage modifiers that are all through the chain, you see that even a small change can completely snowball things. Never mind tripling its base damage. That's where all the damage came from, but you may be wondering, how the hell could they survive a +20 without a healer? Well, the logs tell the story here, and once again, it's Thrash. Thrash damage gives an absorb shield with Ursoc's Fury, which wasn't...
It's Ursoc's Fury. That's what it is. And it shields them up for 30 Ds.
Very strong before the base damage buffs.
Stacking
but then
buffs.
There's another little thing. Elun's favored. It heals bears off their own arcane damage. So basically, with one heavy...
So by stacking all the arcane buffs, because of that hero talent that basically converts Thrash to arcane damage, they have now buffed out arcane enough to do crazy damage and crazy healing at the same time. Who would have thought Guardian Druids would be better at using arcane damage than arcane mages who are currently in the gutter? What a time to be alive.
Buff Guardian Druids became pretty much self-sufficient one-button using just machines. And it's all because Blizzard seemingly forgot how their own talent system worked. Now, that's mostly because of things I've already talked about, but there is another thing. Apex talents. You don't need to take them, and skipping the Apex talent let bears grab just every Thrash talent they could to make this work. Of course, the spec got nerfed immediately, like literally the next day. Blizzard took a chunk of the Thrash damage off, and they reduced the healing from Maloon's favored. So now they're back in line, and Blizzard have got plans to change the Apex talent in the future. Quite the fun story. Blizzard were probably aware of this big mistake before the dungeon was completed, so don't go blaming these players for exposing the thing that's broken.
Yeah, they're just playing.
Maybe it'll teach their balance team to either double check their work or maybe get some better automated testing. Now, if you aren't turned into an invisible god by the accidental consequences of a single buff, then you may find yourself wiping. And that's getting really expensive.
Okay, here we go.
Blizzard
Repair
should
costs.
probably check before the entire player base goes broke is repair costs. And no, this isn't the community just
You guys remember when I was bitching about repair costs on stream and all of you guys were telling me, why don't you just go make some money? It's not that bad. And I was like, no, I'm telling you guys, there's something wrong. This shit's more expensive than usual. Yeah. Oh, guess who was right? Everyone was calling my ass out, saying I was a pussy-ass bitch for not making some money. What the hell? No, that shit costs a lot. As a tank, it was crazy how much my shit was breaking down.
Scraping the bottom of the barrel for stuff to talk about and be angry about. It's actually becoming a real problem. And I say becoming because it's actually getting drastically worse over time. And like with the Druid rebalancing, the culprit is Blizzard's maths. So we followed up on Wowhead's initial investigation, and yeah, so far we can confirm it's not really looking great. So right now, it's a few hundred gold per death, purely based on the repair costs, and it's all because of gear inflation. You see, as you get hero
and the crazy thing is, as a tank, I'm not, like, especially as a blood DK, you know, I'm not dying that often. We're just one-shotting all the bosses and going through heroic raid. The thing is, I'm just passively taking damage all the time because I'm in melee, the boss is hitting me, and not only that, using my weapon is just causing damage, too, to my gear. That's the thing I was having an issue with. It's like my durability, it's unavoidable durability damage. I'm just constantly taking damage. So I'm always having this crazy high repair bill.
Myth gear, the wipe tax shoots up drastically. You see, contrary to popular belief, repair cost hasn't been based on gear type since the Gates of Anchorage patch, which was over 20 years ago. It's always been about durability. Each point of durability costs a set amount to fix, and that's driven purely by item quality and level. So we compared maxed out hero gear and leather and plate, and we found that both of them were 1.6 gold per point of durability damage. And it turns out that even the item doesn't matter. A Hero 6 out of 6 belt was still 1.6 gold per point. But the real meat comes from quality, where a Myth 2 out of 6 chest, which by the way is the same item level as the hero gear that I just talked about, that's 2.7 gold per point.
Oh, geez.
That is way higher. Now, item level's got an impact as well, but it's fairly tiny.
Right, it's not
and
more
weapon
than double,
slots
but
are a bit different
more
as
than a
well,
point.
where they cost only 80% of what other slots do per durability point for, well, some reason, but actually a reason I'll get to shortly. Now, weapons have also got different max durabilities, meaning the different specs do actually pay more per death. The worst are actually warglaives for some reason, and dagger and fist users come off the best. But what we did is...
That's insane. Fisting things to death is not causing damage, durability damage? What is Blizzard thinking here? How's that fit in the lore?
We put together a spreadsheet, and after jumping off the Skyreach entrance far too many times, we worked out what everything costs. So here goes. 65% of specs use a single two-handed weapon, and with full myth gear would pay about 220 gold per wipe. And here we were thinking that potions and augment runes were the only things we needed to worry about. Now, with full champion gear, it was nowhere near as bad. It was only 87 gold. Now, demon hunters on warglaives actually do pay up more. It's up to 249 gold, and shield-using classes like paladin, warrior, and shaman, well, you come in second with up to 247 gold. Now, here's where it's really fun. At 220 gold, that actually works out to almost 2 cents per wipe. Seriously, using WoW token prices in the US, 1 cent converts to 129 gold. And speaking of wiping, apparently the USA's leading toilet paper brand is Charmin Ultra Soft. And that costs about 49 cents for 100 sheets. So, I can now confirm this breaking news right now. And that is that if you use more than
Is this
3
math?
sheets of toilet paper to wipe, then wiping in real life is actually more expensive than wiping in World of Warcraft. And once again, it's a huge win for Team Japan and the bidet.
I did not expect a toilet paper direct reference to wiping today, but there it is. Yeah, sounds like only WoW players could relate actual deaths in the game to toilet paper and wiping your own ass. Wow. Okay. Well, this is expensive ass stream. We wipe on raids, and yeah, I'm a Death Knight, Blood DK. So yeah, this shit costs me money. Just know, as a man of the people, I'm paying to be with the people.
Anyway, it also does mean that 1 sheet of quality toilet paper is worth about 64 gold. I know this sounds like a joke, but it really isn't. So, I've got an idea for you, Blizz. You've been making brand deals with Pringles and all sorts of snacks and drinks.
There's no
How
way.
about you hit the other end of the digestive tract? Hit up Charmin for your next one. And here's the tagline.
Does Belial watch my streams? Did he really just fucking do this? I just said this the other day. I said Charmin should sponsor the stream. That way, every time you wipe, like a Charmin toilet paper roll rolls. This wipe was brought to you by Charmin. I think we can confirm it, boys. Bellular pre-watched me. It's official.
Wiping might break your gear, but with Charmin Ultra Soft, not your rear. In all seriousness, though, we're getting Heroic World Tier, harder ritual sites, and a new Mythic Flex raid in the next patch. So, if you want players to engage with that stuff properly, they're probably going to die a lot. So maybe hold back in making failure so costly. Though I do have some breaking news for you in this one. It's not a full fix to the problem, it's really categorically a different one, but it is kind of nice. Wowhead's testing is showing that on the 1207 PTR, weapons and shields have stopped taking durability damage from combat entirely. The only thing that gives them damage is dying. So that's basically the Protection Warrior block tax being dead. And in Wowhead's 2-minute test of just auto-attacking, a 40 gold repair bill on live came to just 3 gold on PTR.
Nice.
Now, the death costs that I broke down there, of course, don't really change, but the constant drip from just being in combat with your weapon, well, that is gone. So that's Blizzard doing the right thing and the fairness issue there, at least. Now, let's move on to something that they're quietly building.
Holly's plays up full. The crazy thing, I mean, it's kind of nice that they're not doing that durability damage anymore for just weapons and shields. It basically brings tanks in line with everybody else, because that was the thing that was really messing up tanks for the most part. It's just taking that damage because you're hitting the boss all the time. You're meleeing the boss, and then you're getting hit with melee hits all the time. It's just a double dip of shit.
Media updates that Holly promised. Well, we finally caught a sniff of them. It's just a tiny one though, but it's this. It's this single line on Mists of Pandaria PTR that is specifically Discord, and it's a string referencing Discord settings. It seemingly is something controlled by a guild as well, so it basically looks like we're getting guild-centric Discord integration coming, which honestly is pretty cool. Now, we don't know what form this would actually take, but there's certainly no shortage of inspiration for Blizzard. Right now, we use WoW Audit's calendar.
So direct Discord integration? Maybe?
For raid signups, maybe a better in-game version would be pretty nice. Perhaps synchronizing roles would be really cool as well. You know, dropping new guildies into the right server and the right channels immediately. Of course, Discord did a lot of work last year with their SDK. I've got to imagine that way more is possible now than was before. But let's hope we don't go too gung-ho and just spam, say, player achievements into a Discord channel. Although a little bit of that could maybe help keep people invested in each other's gameplay, which I think does matter in the downtime between raids. At the end.
Are you ever going to make a new... I mean, do I need to? It's okay. We're using the Discord. I know my Discord got hacked that one day, and yeah, I have no idea how to get it back. I actually tried again the other day. I still have no idea where the fuck that password's going. Oh, wow.
For the day, Discord is now kind of the third space, and World of Warcraft is just the gameplay
we're still in
engaged in. That's a huge difference from WoW in the past. Making those things closer together just makes complete, obvious sense. And they'd be fools not to do something with this in player housing. Now, as much as maybe you could want to laugh at, say, their very silly Twitter integration for patch 6.1, I think Blizzard are taking this one quite seriously. Holly's been pushing WoW as a third space. Of course, that's really what WoW was back in the day, but kind of is way less today, because a lot of our social dynamics have changed on the internet. And I think half hijacking Discord to keep people engaged and to sort of merge those two spaces together is a fair...
Do you guys remember, I mean, some of you may have been playing back then. Do you remember when Blizzard put in the voice chat in the game? how freaking, like, I don't know, that was like immersion breaking as shit, because you would have this like massive torrent showing up to your group, and it used to automatically turn it on too when it first went live. This was only, I think, for like a week where it was automatically turning on, but it would automatically turn on like voice comms if you would join like a 5-man group, and they had little microphone, you know, indications that people were talking. You'd have like this 7-foot torrent show up, and it'd be like, "Hey guys, you ready to run?" And this was back when like the majority of the WoW player base was like teenagers. Okay, and it was just so world breaking. Or obviously the hot ass elf chick or somebody else showing up and it's a dude, right? I think they quickly realized, well, players don't really want to talk to each other like that unless they purposely get into Ventrilo or TeamSpeak. They don't want to hear anybody else's voice, so they turned that shit off real quick, and they actually ended up removing it. Is it still even available anymore? I remember they just turned that shit off everywhere. I don't even know if it's still available as an option.
Pretty efficient.
Even if it is, nobody turns it on, so it'd be completely pointless.
Smart thing to do. We also know the Discord has a good relationship with Xbox as of late, where
it is, but no one uses it.
Nitro, which could be a bit of a slam dunk for Blizzard if it works well. So I guess here's the virtuous cycle they would want. Your guild uses Discord more, so you pick up Nitro to, you know, have emotes or a soundboard, and in the process of getting Nitro, you get access to Diablo 4. I mean, you can see the vision, right?
A lot of crossover,
complete social and gaming domination for Blizzard and Xbox. Naturally, the next step is the Lovance integration. And if you don't know what that is, don't look it up. Anyway, not done with the news. We don't know exactly what the Discord integration is going to look like, but we do know roughly when. If it's on the Mists PTR, then that's pretty much the most recent build of WoW's like back-end tech. It's nowhere to be found on patch 1207's PTR, but that actually makes sense because that's a fairly close release. It's just a few weeks out. So if I was placing bets, I'd say it'll be the patch after 12.1. And if the usual schedule holds, then we'll get 1207 on the 16th of June, and then 12.1 PTR shortly after that. And of course, 12.1, coincidentally, is when the roadmap promised new housing, social, and UI features. But I think a big Discord integration is the type of thing Blizzard probably would say.
Oh, I wonder, the UI feature might be a Discord thing, but man, that's a pretty big one if that happens at 12.1.
Is important enough to debut at the likes of Xbox's Summer Games Fest, which is going to be in the 8th of June. Or maybe they'll just drop it on a random Tuesday. Who knows? If we learned anything from today's stories, it's that Blizzard have a little bit of a Goldilocks problem. Somehow they move too fast, but also too slow. That's what it's like being a huge company, and I guess the struggle is finding balance in the middle. And speaking of balance, Season 1 is balanced very, very differently in terms of gear acquisition, to the point where in many ways it feels unrecognizable, and when 1207 comes out, that'll be even more so. If you want to find out how and why, watch this video next.
Nice video overall, interesting stuff here for sure. Damn, I pre-liked this video already, shit. Good stuff. Look, if I remember right, the Ventrilo sound, the integration thing, that was freaking hilarious, but it was a failure. Discord integration, though, would be cool. For sure. I think that would be a fun one to get into. And then all the numbers and repair. It's good to see Blizzard actually listen to the player base on that one and fix the repair issues, because they were costing me a shit ton of gold. Overall, nice video from Balular.